Hello, hello, hello. The fade in. Hi everyone who is here. My name is Jenn Schiffer. I lead community at Glitch, part of Fastly. Look, I'm wearing the goth Fastly sweatshirt. And you need to tell me if my audio is off, because I believe it's on. This is an interactive stream, by the way, and this is live, so I'm paying attention to chat. I see all of you in there. And also, I've never streamed a day in my life. And that's a big lie, but if you look at our YouTube account, which you're on right now, the last stream that we had was like, I think on the 22nd will be the 1-year anniversary. So anyway, I'm gonna see who's in the chat right now. John, thanks for giving me the thumbs up. Shouts out to Tamara. Let me know if I pronounced your name incorrectly, by the way, folks. Patch, hey. My colleagues, Corey and Jen, in case you're here. Juan Pablo, hi. Awesome, 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 awesome. So, okay, well, you probably know what Glitch is if you're here, but if not, I can tell you. Glitch is the community of developers building really cool apps, and we're going to be doing that later in the stream today. And if you don't know Glitch, you will know by the end of this, because what we're doing today is kicking off our weekly live stream, Glitch Jams Live. I have the agenda here on the screen, just a little intro. I'm going to talk about something new that we've kicked off at Glitch, a couple of things that we've kicked off that are new at Glitch, and then I'm going to show off some of the really cool apps that our community has made over the past couple of weeks. And then we're going to do something really scary. We're going to watch me code. And just so you know, I'm a director of community. I used to do a lot of web development. I'm mostly in spreadsheets these days, so I'm really excited to get into the editor and live code in front of y'all. Recently, I've been learning 3JS, but I'm in that part of the journey where now I'm spending most of my time in Blender, which isn't web code. It's a lot of like dragging and like crying and sighing in order to create like a cube. So we're gonna go back to basics and work on the jam today. Hey Sue, welcome. So before I get started, if all of y'all in the chat can let me know what you've been working on lately when it comes to apps that you're building or things that you're trying out, I would love to hear that. I'll let you know some of the ground rules for the chat, and shouts out to my teammates who were moderating. You have to follow YouTube community guidelines. There's a link when you join the chat. Basically, like, this is like a cool, fun, friendly place. I will be live coding. Things I do not accept are judging me for the tools I choose to use or not to use, and that judgment applies to everybody else in the community. It's just like bad energy, and like, I don't need that. Another rule, and this one you don't have to follow, is you have to have at least 5 beverages on your desk while you're watching this and coding. I am drinking, this is tea in my little Glitch mug here, but I also have plenty of water and various other waters that I put flavoring into. So it's very important to stay hydrated when you're coding. It is a strong athletic thing to do. It's a sport, if you will. And that's it. So let's jump into talking about the things that we've launched. So we have been working on this for so long. We have launched Glitch Community Code Jams. Shouts out to my colleague Jessie, who made a strawberry with a face and a butter knife. We have been in various iterations trying to just come up with a monthly jam casual prompt to give the community to build an app that just kind of like sings to them on that prompt. So we have SelfPortrait as our kickoff. I would be remiss to not give a huge shout out to the former community engineering team at Glitch. Potch is in the chat. Steph Monette and I worked on the first iteration of Code Jams in 2020, and just things didn't work out, and here we are years later. We've got this like out the door, and like we cannot wait to see what y'all create. and we're gonna start a jam project of my own self-portrait at the end of this. So looking at the chat, Les Orchard said, bummer, I only have 3 beverages. If you get 2 more cups, you can pour some of those beverages in, and then you'll have 5. And Wilson the Wolf said, how long is the streaming going to go on for? I have a class, so I can't listen now. These streams are generally going to be around an hour, and it's on YouTube, and so you could look at the VOD later on. And I'll share a link out of all the links that we go over in this video, so you can catch it later. Do not watch this while you're in class, unless part of your class curriculum is to watch YouTube. You don't want to get YouTube banned from your school. Just a tip. Cool. Okay, so co-jams. I was very inspired by Inktober, Sunday Sites, which is a really cool co-jam, and a lot of other jams like Ludendar and the I forget the game one where you have to have under a certain amount of megabytes of JavaScript in your app. I'm gonna say the wrong number, but basically, as someone who's really into making art, the best art comes from the constraints that you're given, and they also help you come to the conclusion of like what you want to make when you want to try something new. Something that we had asked many developers several years ago on the Glitch blog was, what keeps you from learning something new? And a lot of folks, it was the paradox of choice. Like, what do I build with? And what do I actually build with the thing I want to learn? Like, I want to learn React, but I don't know what to build. So we're hoping that with these code jams, it's just low stakes, casual prompts to hopefully inspire you and share with the rest of the community what you're creating. So if you want to learn more about it, how to submit, go to glitch.com/jams. If you are a member of the forum, support.glitch.com, you would have seen this update. If not, join support.glitch.com. It is a different login than Glitch. It's a discourse forum. I post sneak peeks of the stuff that's coming out ahead of when it goes out to the rest of the world. So if you want to be in the know, join the forum. And I'll show you some more stuff that gets shared there. It's not just jam related stuff. Alexa said the last project I worked on was Java over SVN in 2007. This is cool. I used to be a Java developer and used SVN generally around 2007. I built a lot of galaxy collision simulators and Sudoku games in Java. I like the portability of the web a lot better. But tooling for Java is really good. So we don't knock Java or any other languages here. So yeah, okay. What else is going on in the world of Glitch? Because we'll revisit code jams. If you haven't checked out the blog, blog.glitch.com, every month, Jenn Turner, who's in the chat, does these really cool roundups of apps that the community has built and shared over the month. So you can check out the latest, which is the September edition of last month on Glitch. And there's just like a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of art. I'm very fond of this collection of moldy foods that this person has taken and dated. They should work on reducing food waste, but I get it, like it's hard to do. Yeah, so check that out if you haven't already. This is also where we post all of our like creator profiles and stuff. Like we did one about Casey, who's in the chat, my coworker, on Postmarks, their Fediverse social bookmarking app. I think maybe, not to like volunteer you, Casey, maybe we'll do a stream about Postmarks in the near future. Then we have the app of the week. If you go onto the homepage, you'll see we have an app of the week here. And in theme of portrait, self-portrait being the CodeJam prompt, portfolio portrait by Binga is the app of the week. And this is really cool. So it's a P5 sketch. And if you click and move, it kind of flashes to these other images, which is really neat. And because it's on Glitch and it's public, you can view the source of this project. Normally when I see an app that's like really cool and I'm like, oh, can I like change it to do whatever kind of thing, I will look at the source and be like, how hard is this code for me to try out? And fortunately, with a lot of P5.js projects, the code is very nice and very easy to like decipher. Like P5.js makes doing like canvas drawing a lot less code to do. The only issue I guess I would flag is there's a lot of math, but I do a lot of like canvas pixel art stuff, so I'm already used to like a lot of math. But yeah, you can remix this and make it your own. And it looks like it's loading images and then turning those images into those little confetti things that blow up. So you can remix this, add your own images, and do that. So yeah. Anyway, shouts out to this creator for their incredible formatting. A cool fun tip is that, and I'll show you in my own project. Well, I'm gonna remix this, but I'll share with you that if you have an issue with formatting as you code along, like tabs versus spaces and all that kind of stuff, we do have a little prettier button here up in the top of the editor of the files that we mostly support, like the JavaScript files, HTML files. There might be some like edge case file extensions that don't show the button, and if you need that, you can just go to the forum and ask us. But when you click the button, it formats it and it shows a little confetti. And you see that their code didn't do anything, so they probably were already using the... So, yeah. Let's see. If you wanted to have your own project featured, you can share them in the comments of these streams. You can share them here in the forum. Search submit your project for app of the week, and Jen's got a neat form for filling out if you don't want to share it like out publicly, but more directly to us if you feel more comfortable with that. Get in your app ideas, and you too can be on the homepage, Glitch.com. Okay, let's get into what else is new at Glitch. So we are building a new glitch. And so you can go to preview.glitch.com and see that work in progress. It looks a lot different, but not that much different than what you see today, but there's a lot of stuff that's going to be making this work faster, making it easier for our team to iterate more, but most importantly, we want to ultimately have the community build this along with us. And so if you go to the forum, it's a pinned post. You can read all the context from head of product, Jesse Von Doom, who made the strawberry with a knife. So doing lots of important work, Jesse. But yeah, you can learn more about the preview work. We have a lot of people reporting bugs that the team has been fixing. And yeah, and there's some discussions that we'll be posting over the next amount of time that we're working on this. My page is often a test page because I have so many projects that it breaks a lot of stuff. So you'll see screenshots of my stuff in here. But yeah, if you go to the building glitch category on the forum, you'll find updates, brainstorms, polls and stuff, so we can get feedback from y'all about how we build this new glitch, because we want this to be a place where y'all can collaborate with each other and socialize and see all the cool stuff that y'all are building. So the latest discussion that we want to get some of your feedback from is what we do about project dashboards. So if you have a Glitch account, you'll be sent to your dashboard where you can see a list of all your projects. You can archive them, reactivate them. You see what your project hours are. It's a dashboard, but it can do so much more than it actually does. But before we make decisions for you about how you want to use that dashboard, we want to hear from you what you want to have on it and what you want to be able to do on the dashboard. So go to support.glitch.com, join the forum, jump in the discussion. It's fun, free, and yeah, it's just a great way to spend a Friday afternoon. You can even do it now while I'm talking instead of paying attention to me. I won't, no hard feelings there. So let's see what's going on in the chat. Let's see. So you said I need a mix of fizzy and non-fizzy drinks by default. That is good. I used to drink a lot of fizzy drinks, but then when I'm streaming, I get heartburn because it's a lot of talking. So that's why I've stuck to like hot tea as my main drink. Thank you, Jenn, for posting all of the cool links. Oh, Casey said that'd be fun about the stream. Okay, we're locking it in. We'll plan it later. So coming soon, postmark stream. I want to see you all back here. Does anybody have any questions I could go over before I jump into the community app showcase? There's quite a bit. This is also a good time for me to tell y'all to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So that's 3 tasks for you. Work on a code jam app around self-portrait, join our forum, and sound off on the glitch preview and give your feedback. And like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get alerts on future live streams and hold me accountable to doing this weekly. Okay, now it's time to share a lot of links. So one of the best parts of my job leading community is scouring the web for where all of y'all are showing off the things that you make on Glitch, not just in our forum, but y'all are posting on Reddit, y'all are answering and asking questions on Stack Overflow, you're posting stuff on Twitter, Mastodon, where else? Instagram, I've seen. There's a forum of people who grow tobacco, and like they had like made an app for tracking measurements of ingredients and stuff. I'm trying to think of where the weirdest spot I've seen Glitch. Yeah, maybe it was that tobacco forum. Anyway, I want to share with you some of my favorite apps that y'all have shared over the past couple of weeks. Starting off, here's this app. I'm just gonna be adding tabs here. In fact, I can remove a couple of these to make it easier myself. Okay, so I had given a sneak peek, as I mentioned before, of Glitch Community Code Jams a few days before we had launched it. This is where I talk about my inspiration. It's in the Community Code Jams category, you'll see. And one of our more prolific artists, community members, Naoto Hieta, brought up a very interesting challenge that was kind of related to what I was talking about, the inspiration for code jams. They said, I've been involved in Inktober-inspired coding movements in the past as an organizer and participant, mostly in processing creative coding communities. It's quite straightforward because the objective of the tool is well defined, but with the web you can do pretty much anything. That's the best part of the web, but also a very suffocating part of it. So he said some might benefit from some tool constraints, maybe a roulette that suggests you a random framework. And it's examples. Not that I'm gonna make it now, I really don't have that capacity at the moment. Can I get an alien emoji in the chat if you at some point have suggested something that was cool and said, not that I'm gonna make it now, I really don't have the capacity, and then 2 days later, you're like, why do I do this today? Because that's exactly what happened, and then Naoto made the Code Jam tool picker. So it is a roulette wheel where he listed a number of frameworks to decide what to build with in a jam, and you click stop, and P5JS. And that would be a good choice because then you just remix that app of the week, the portrait app of the week, and then you can go and start from there. Maybe we'll even do that, who knows? Seeing a bunch of aliens in the chat, I love to see it. So I can, I'm going to go to the project page of this app. And we're going to, this is what I do with every cool app that I see. Again, I go to the project page, I go to view the source, because I want to be how easy would it be for me to remix this and change what's on the wheel to my own ideas. So this is a Svelte app. Svelte is a JavaScript app framework. So I know most of the stuff's probably going to be in the source folder. And so, okay, so the app is generated in main.js. So most of the code's going to be in this app.svelte file. And so here is where he listed an array of objects, and each object is one of those tools. So if I wanted to do a roulette wheel of choosing like what chores to do, making a chore wheel, you can remix this app and then edit this section to be the chores that you want to choose. So that's another really great thing about this app, that it's not only a great example of the developer paradox of like, here's a great idea, I don't have the time to do it. And then it's like, oh, but with Glitch, you can just spin it up really quick. That's what they did. That's one of my favorite things about Glitch, my bias or not. So yeah, there's that. Another awesome tool that came from the forum is NovelScript. NovelScript is a novel engine generator. You can learn more about it in the forum as well. We have a section called the gallery where we encourage creators to share the apps that they're making. And Yanlei, who's made a bunch of cool apps, shared this a couple of weeks ago. It's written on esoteric, I guess, is the programming language called esoteric? I have to look it up. Or is it just an esoteric language? But it's really neat. Like, I'll show you like the example that they have built into it. So there's like a language for typing out like a narrative or a dialogue, and then you hit play, and it's kind of like a game interface. You can do this for any of your storytelling apps. If you want to make like a point and click game, you don't have to like build that from scratch. You can start from this one. So shouts out to Yanlei and NovelScript. Here's a really cool app from, I don't know how to pronounce their name. I think it's Elon. They have this really cool newsletter called Escape the Algorithm. And they made this project called Love Letters to Places I'll Never Meet. It's a collection of Google Map reviews of places that closed before they moved to their current neighborhood. This is like, okay, Casey said this is so sick. This is so sick. I love this. It's just like, beautiful like art and history and code all together. It also introduced me to something I had never heard about before. So I found this on the Felt subreddit, and it's a way to work with maps on the internet. And I don't make a lot of maps, but I do love maps. I'm sharing maps on Glitch all the time. At work, my coworkers can vouch for me there, and you can see it in my weekly community banter threads in the forum and in the newsletters. But I never heard of Felt, and so that's like on my list of things to look into. And so shouts out to this project for sharing that. And you basically can just traverse the map, and it's like I make watercolors and I paint with watercolors a lot, and a good like practice if you don't know like what to paint is like just make a map of like a fake place. This is like incredible to me. Like these colors, like this river color is speaking to my heart. Casey says that Felt has a great engineering blog. I'm gonna have to look into that. This is just really, really cool. John Holden said, I just learned about Hydra recently. It seems so cool. Thank you for reminding me about this wheel. So Hydra is a live coding framework that Naoto does a lot of workshops on. And in fact, let me go off the list of stuff that I was going to share. He posted on the 28th that he gave a Hydra coding workshops for teenagers in Frankfurt. So if you happen to be in Frankfurt, Germany, the Tor Art Space is going to have those Hydra artworks on display, I think, for the next week and a half. This is them rickrolling me. We don't need to see that. But yeah, so huge fan of the Hydra community, and Naoto's a part of that. Good stuff. Here's something cool. Baby pie. I'm gonna type letters and they're gonna show up. Hello. So Baby Pie is made by Kieran Lee Farr. Kieran has been doing some really awesome 3JS work. on Glitch over the past couple of years. So when I saw this project come up, I was like, is this the same Kieran that like I've been thinking about? And it is. So he made a baby computer for his baby, and he did a bunch of research on computers for kids, talked about different kind of toys and stuff to make comparisons of like what kids want to do and like what hindrances there are with technology. Like you don't want like small parts for them to choke on, and you don't want them to like break it because they likely will. And here's a photo of the baby on a prototype of baby computer. It's run on a Raspberry Pi, which are like finally back in stock. I love this picture. And then part 2 is a Medium post about how to actually build it yourself. So not only and the code here is like on Glitch. So shouts out to Kieran for building this like with like open technology and also just sharing and showing the work so that other people can do it. It's pretty great. I wouldn't say that parts are like affordable, but as far as like, you know, if you're gonna like spend money on like a hobby project, it might as well be something like useful that you can enjoy with your family, right? So I don't know, I thought this was really, really sweet. Here's an interesting project. I mean, I can't say that for every project. They're all interesting. Otherwise, I wouldn't share them with you. I don't know much about this artist, Camila, but they're working on a December writing project, and they're looking for people to gift them a word. And all you gotta do is enter a word and give it to them, and I'm assuming that their writing will only be of words that they have been gifted. So help them find new words, and I look forward to seeing what they come up with in December. Camila has a really awesome website and just like a lot of really awesome artwork that's even just like worth exploring. I got to there because for more information on the bottom here, I just went to like their site because I was like, I need to see like who she's about. And so yeah, shouts out to Camila Janan Rashid. I'm looking forward to seeing what word she got. I already gifted the word community because duh. But yeah, add some. We'll see. Okay, this one came across Reddit and Twitter. I love typing games. I always joke that my mom was Mavis Beacon. I can type really fast, not so much like today because I have a lot of rings on, but I don't know, they like look cool. If you listen to the band Krangbin, the bassist Laura Lee is a really good bassist, but she wears a lot of rings, and in an interview she said like, yeah, I can take the rings off and play bass better, but like they look cool. And I'm like, yes, so I will be keeping the rings on. But what also makes me type very slowly is this game, because it is not in English, but Bava Gita is a really I read an English translation when I was in college, and I really liked it. And this creator's been making a lot of really cool projects to get you to learn their culture. For example, I love this like yoga jigsaw puzzle where they pick different asanas and you kind of like move the stuff around, and then once you like get the puzzle together, it will tell you about that asana. So I love the idea of like games as a way to introduce your culture, your dharma to other people. But yeah, if you want a real challenge, Bava Gita typing game. It works really well. These are really well made, and I'm excited to see what this creator has in store next. Then we have F1 Start. This is from my friend Jake Archibald. I was DMing him the other day. I was like, you know, your F1 Start app has gone viral again. Jake made this app in like 2017, and this was actually the first ever glitch app to go viral. F1 is like a car thing. I don't have a driver's license. But this is a game of reflexes where you tap when you're ready to race. and I always do a jump start because I am a go-getter. That's a good quality to have. But yeah, there's a lot of people on social trying this out and testing who get the best score. And even some F1 racers have tried it. So I think recently there was a TikTok someone posted of an F1 racer going up against a bunch of kids. And so everyone's sharing it and trying it. So yeah, F1 start. I would say for if you want to share your app to be featured, it doesn't have to be a new app. It could be one that you built in 2017. If it's cool, we'll share it. And then Emma Baber, who does a lot of really cool WebXR and even like tutorials of doing WebXR in Glitch, used a remix of our Glitch in Bio, link in bio app to show off various art. So this is like a WebXR art walk, and each link goes to a WebXR app of that artist. And so here's like Walker Team Ryan. So if you have a headset, on the browser you can just click around, but if you have a headset you can actually like kind of look around and look at this art. And I'm showing this artist because I love this piece. I feel like if you sliced my brain in half, this is exactly what it would look like. Is that a problem or not? That's for science to decide. I'm a director of community, not a brain scientist. Then finally, to wrap things up because it's the season, I was walking home from yoga last night and I noticed that there were these new snowflake lights all up around the park. And I was like, oh, it's definitely that time of the season. And shout out to Jenn Turner. She told me this is a good way to wrap things up. But the new season of Christmas Hurdle is out. The creator shared it on Reddit. If you know Christmas songs, turns out I don't. You can start doing Christmas Hurdle. And yeah, so there's that. If you want to share an app that you've made, you can post it in the comments of this video. Join our forum and share it in the gallery and see what everyone else has been making on Glitch. And you can also email community.glitch.com. Again, it's whatever you feel comfortable with. Jenn's already shared a link to like our run of show. We're going to be collecting all these links and putting it on this app to share out so you don't have to miss a single thing. Cool. Okay. Well, that means, oh wow, I had no idea how long all this stuff would take. I was like, this content might be a half hour, it might be an hour and a half. What is time? What is space? As long as my microphone stays plugged in, because the USB cable is broken and it's like hanging on like a tiny like atom. So we're really playing with fire. But it sounds like I left myself plenty of time to code. Let me see first how the chat is going. Okay, I see. Let me start at where all the alien heads are. Casey said 0.220 is my high score this week on F1 Start. Yeah, try F1 Start and let me know how fast you can go. It'll be better than mine because I'm always just jumping too quickly. Yeah. Okay, does anybody have any questions about code jams, about building Glitch with us, or any of these apps before I jump into actually coding stuff? And this isn't me procrastinating at all because I have like maybe like a 25% idea of what I want to build, which is how I usually go into the Glitch editor. Also a reminder to like and subscribe. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's close out these beautiful tabs. That's Not Art said, why might someone use Svelte or Chew, for example? That is a good question. It could be a philosophical question. Svelte is like a much more robust, larger framework. Chew is by design and on purpose very small. Chew is created by someone I know, Yoshi, who Yosh made it to kind of counterbalance the heavy frameworks that were becoming really popular at the time, like React, Ember, maybe like Svelte was just getting started. And so Chu has stayed like independent and like very minimal. So the best way to make decisions on whether you need to like build something with like a framework is just look at their documentation and kind of get what their philosophy is as to why they created that framework. And if you're like, that resonates with me and the project I'm doing, then use it. So again, Chu is very lightweight, anti-framework framework, and Svelte a lot more big and robust. What is building Glitch with us? So, great question. Earlier on I talked about how we are building a new version of Glitch. So you can go to preview.glitch.com to see it live. And we're building it out in the open so that we can get feedback from y'all as we're building it. So if you go to support.glitch.com, you can see that we have a category called Build Glitch. Get that here, Building Glitch. And you'll learn about what we're working on, what we're looking for, you know, how you can help. Basically, like, post like bugs that you see, things that you want to see in Glitch. We have a category here, a post here for project dashboard. So we're getting feedback on like what people want to see on the dashboard. Actually, one thing that someone had mentioned, Java Archive, who's a forum regular, was wanting thumbnails. I think that came from Java Archive. Yeah, I'd love if you opt into maybe generating a thumbnail of the project you're working on once idle that appears in the dashboard in a grid style. So basically, like, there's a lot of stuff that like our team wants to build into Glitch, but like a good way of like prioritizing and knowing that you can't build everything into it is just seeing like what is useful to y'all who are using Glitch. So that's why we're building Glitch with the community. Versus trying to make some decisions on your behalf that those things end up not being used. That's just like good business, but I don't know. I could talk about that for hours, and I won't, because I am actually going to build something on here. Let's see. I think there are any other questions. Let's get into it. Okay, so I already talked about like the problem of like, I want to build a thing, but like I don't know what I want to build, and how the idea of jams was to give like a constraint to make it easier to think of that. So I know that I want to do something self-portrait related, and I thought like, oh, why don't I like take my Glitch avatar, which is an image, it's a pixel image I made of myself several years ago surfing a Dorito. And I was like, oh, and I can like take this image and do like a bilinear sample and turn it into even like bigger pixel image. And then I was like, explaining and talking about bilinear sampling on a Friday is like probably a lot. Maybe like I should go back to basics. And so I'm actually going to start from mostly blank static site. And I think I'm just gonna like throw some shapes with HTML and CSS on a screen and like make a picture out of like div boxes and stuff. Just really like simple stuff that like I used to do way back in the day. Like shout out to CodePen, like just like making art with divs and CSS. So I'm gonna click on Discover because we have all of our starters here. And I in particular want to start from a basic, like a blank website. And if you want to watch along, you can go to this URL up here. I can, in fact, let me change the name of the project so it's easier to get to. So my container's spinning up. And like the blank page just gives you like a hello world and just a couple of files. I'm gonna change the name of this to SelfPortrait JS. Posh said bilinear in this economy? Honestly. So SelfPortrait-JS, that's not JavaScript, that's Jenn Schiffer. It's my name. It's on the screen underneath my face, I believe. Cool. Okay. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get rid of everything. Okay. So, and of course I deleted my end body tag. How many people in this chat have not built a web page before and don't know what any of this looks like? Because I can go through it really quick, but also if all of you in the chat are like familiar, and don't be shy, because like the prerequisite as I put in the description of this is you don't have to know any code. Essentially, this is the page that all the code that gets visible in the preview goes on. See if I enter wow wow wow, we auto deploy the changes on here. It shows in the preview there. And what I want to do is, when you're like drawing shapes on a paper, when you're building shapes on a web page, you can use like a canvas and draw onto the canvas, or you can just like take elements and like turn them into shapes. And getting a canvas set up off the top of my head is a little bit much for what I got going. I've had a really chaotic week. And so I think I'm just gonna go simple and make like a bunch of div boxes with nothing in it. Also, let me know if the background music is too high or too low, because I'm coding in silence, but I know that y'all hear background music, maybe. So I'm gonna give these each an ID so I can identify them in my CSS to style what the shape is, how big it is, what the color of it is, and what position it is in. So start with face. Left eye, or actually do eye left. It doesn't matter what you call these things, you just have to have them match up in your style. Camera says it's a bit repetitive. So doing stuff like this, there are valid places for your code to be repetitive. You don't have to automate everything from the start. When it comes to creative coding, there are a lot of Anil has called it for me intentional inefficiencies. So like intentional repetitive code. And that's like okay here. What I'm going for is getting something created and also being kind to myself. Not just because it's been a while since I've coded HTML and CSS shapes. I've been doing a lot of 3JS, so it's a lot of like math and 3D development. Going back to the basics tends to be quite hard for me. Also, I am talking and like thinking about and producing the stream at the time. Oh, Tamara says I'm at the background music. Oh, okay. Yeah, the background music is repetitive. I'm gonna like come up with like a playlist of different like songs that we can play in the background that YouTube won't like suspend us for using. But this is the background music I used on the opening splash of like my personal stream, which I haven't done in a while. Anyway, appreciate the clarification. But what I still said holds true anyway, is a lot of this is gonna look like this is redundant, and the answer is probably like, yeah, you're right. We could also look for ways to make the code less, as I say, dry. Don't repeat yourself. Yeah, anyway, do you hear my rings? Here's some ring ASMR. Okay, enough of that. We have a face and eye on the left, and the right mouth. Oh, we definitely need a nose. If you want me to build like harder stuff in the future, if you have like a, hey, can you build with this thing or whatever, post in the chat or in the comments if you're watching the video on demand of this, let me know what kind of stuff that you want us to build. We already have to schedule me and Casey remixing postmarks because somebody on Mastodon told me it would be cool if we had a Mastodon feed of like the links of these cool apps that we're sharing, and I was like, oh, we can use postmarks for that. So we got that in the pipeline, but what is other stuff that we can build? And maybe if there's like someone that you want to see on here code with me, we can do that too. Okay, so there's nothing on my page because these are just empty elements. We have to use CSS to position, size, and add color to them. This starter app already has a style sheet link to it and a JavaScript page link to it. I don't think I'm going to be doing any JavaScript, so I'm just going to delete that file, which means I can then delete this. There's no need to like load a file that you're not using. Then you're just wasting precious megabytes. Although a mostly blank script file isn't going to be all that large. Well, let's go into CSS. So we have a minimal set of CSS resets for this. Basically to like set things like the line height and like the margin of the page. Also an important one that I always forget is setting images, video, and I would even say iframes to be max width 100%. I'm not gonna add any of those things, so I'm gonna delete this, but it's a helpful tool. In fact, if you want to look at like, if you're starting a project on Glitch or anywhere else, Glitch apps are usually a good source to look at like what other people are doing for their CSS resets, but our starters are too. Like the team does a really good job of building those out. We can leave all this here, but I'm gonna start a new section here called My Face. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna create some empty rules for each of these items. So there's face, eye left, eye right, nose, mouth. So there's a blank one there, and Glitch is like, why do you block no empty? Thank you. Eye left. One thing I could do here to make this easier after I've built this all is use classes to establish whether the eye is left or right. That way, if I wanted to very easily add like more eyes to my face, I don't have to like write out the same rule over and over and over again in CSS. The powerful thing about CSS is that you can well overwrite so much stuff that's redundant, but it will just like work because it cascades. Relax, don't hit the microphone. But then you could also have like a very long CSS file and you're like, am I actually using all of these rules? I put mouse. Mouth. See, live coding while you're talking is really hard. Alexis suggested Jen and an animator making a live stream about events and animation. That's a really good idea. I'm gonna write that note down. Especially as I've been getting into 3D development with 3JS and like there's animation baked into that. I'm interested in learning more how to do that on like the 2D level as well. So I have a face, an eye left, eye right, nose, and mouth. Let's start by saying the width is, let's say, 300 pixels, semicolon. See, I write mostly JavaScript, so I don't put semicolons. I forgot, oh, in CSS you got to. This might be a bit big, and I'll just copy these here. I have no idea how big these are actually going to look because I don't do a good job at like knowing how big things are. Like I always joke at people like, I don't know how big an acre is. I just like can't conceptualize like even like I'm like, what is, I know 25 pixels what that's like on a screen because that's a default for my pixel art editor, but these are going to be really wacky, but I want it to start off wacky. So I'm just arbitrarily throwing numbers in there. Of course, there's nothing showing up here because everything, like nothing has a color. So if we add some color, background color, oh my gosh, this is gonna be really funny. W3 school color names. W3 schools, I know it's considered fraught sometimes, but I love the CSS Color Names page. This is like, just like I have like a watercolor palette here. This is my like web developer color palette, and if you have better suggestions, let me know, but this has only served me quite well. And I'm gonna choose, and these are the actual CSS color names, so you can use like the value pale turquoise. You can't just put in any color name. It has to have been like chosen by, I guess like W3C. But I'm going to make my face old lace. And then when you click the color, it shows you all the other colors, the text on it, so you can see if the text color on top of it is a background, which are like more compatible. Again, I think that there are probably like way more tools that like do this already that are better than that page, but this is what I've been using for a bajillion years. I'm just gonna use the color name. Here you go. See, I added the color, and now it's like, there we see the box. So I'm going to copy that. You see how like my tabs are like weird here? I mentioned that prettier button. That's gonna fix it all nice to me. Posh said CSS name colors are the best. Yeah, some of them are quite fraught, but I do like Papaya Whip, which is right here. Actually, probably should just make my face Papaya Whip. Now, you see here, like, my elements are all stacked after each other, because divs are block elements, so they'll go on a new line for each of them. You can change them to be inline so that they'll kind of stack next to each other on the same line. And they're all the same color. That's what's going on. Posh said about the colors, capitalization is very W3 school. And Tyra says Papaya Whip's my fave. Yeah, I'm gonna... Yeah, it's a little darker there. Cool, okay, so this is my face. It's like looking in a mirror. So what we gotta do is we have to, one, let's pick some better colors. My eyes are brown. I don't know what shade of brown to use. I don't like this. Also, the thing with CSS color names is like, I think dark gray is lighter than gray. Yeah, see that? Here's the gray, and then here's dark gray. Why is dark gray lighter than gray? I'm on the W3C. You're gonna have to ask those guys. But so that's why I'm like, I see brown and I'm like that's more of like a burnt sienna, but I don't know. Crayola did not come up with his color name list. I'll just tell you that. Okay, oh my gosh, it's 2:56. I really took forever to do that because I've got the gift of gab. We're gonna do saddle brown because I'm a horse girl without a horse. My nose, I'm gonna make it like a little bit darker so that you see the nose. So peach puff is nice. I'm gonna use the capitalization. And then mouth. I'm a 90s girl, and so I tend to use more browner lipsticks. So we're gonna use sienna. There you go. Okay. Posh said there's a wonderful and very funny video about how the CSS colors got their names. There's a really good talk that Alex Sexton, who is a developer at Strike, did. I'm gonna find this. At CSS Conf 500 years ago. That, let's see. He did a lot of research on where these names came from. I'm just like Googling. I know that like the dead air while someone Googles, but I am not Googling on or YouTube searching on screen. So let's see, CSS Color Names. He gave this talk at CSS Conf. Music auto start. We love that. Here we go. Peach puffs and lemon chiffons. We like that. It was at JS Conf. Well, CSS Conf 2014. I was an MC. This is like the first conference that let me MC. They opened up a huge can of worms because I haven't shut up since. But this talk was really good. This is probably one of my most favorite talks ever. Alex does such a good job of diving deep into where color names got their name from, and it involves like curmudgeons and a mailing listserv. It's so funny over something that's as low stakes as CSS Color Names. So there you go. Cool. Okay. So this is my portrait so far. And we're getting to the end of where we gotta like wrap things up because I don't want to take too long for y'all. So what I want to tell you is you can find this and all the links on jams-live.glitch.me. This is where I'll be posting the YouTube video streams to follow, all the news and updates, every link that I've gone over today, and I'll add my project URL in there too after this. And you can follow along and join me next Friday at the same time. If this time is a hard time for y'all, let me know. I might look into like picking different times because now that Glitch is part of Fastly, the Goth CDN, we're part of a global company now. And so at our teams, when we do like all hands and stuff like that, it'll like rotate throughout the different time zones so we can accommodate everybody over here. I kind of like that idea. It's a bit inclusive. But for the sake of streaming, consistency might also be more helpful. Anyway, sound off in the comments if you have any ideas, post in the forum, all of that. Let's see if there's any closing notes in the chat. Tamara said the only origin I know is Rebecca Purple. That origin I believe happened after 2014 and is the only good origin story. Bittersweet, but it's in honor of someone's daughter, and it's very sweet, and it's also a beautiful, beautiful color. Like a beautiful homage to someone important, to someone who's very important in the web development community. Anyway, thank you so much for joining. This is again like the first stream that we've done on the channel. Shout out to Poch, who's in the chat. Poch used to do lots of live streams on the Glitch channel. So if you go back in our videos, you'll see all of those. They're still fun to check out. And if you have any feedback, let me know. I'll see you next week where we're going to actually make this look like more of a face. And I'll figure out a way to do it where we make a little bit more progress. But if you want to make your own face, starting off from the way that I did this, go to this page and you can remix it and let me know what you make. Anyway, thank you so much. I will see you on glitch.com. Okay. Bye.